Now we'd like to introduce Angilina Taylor from 5028 Designer Shoes.
Hi guys, I'm Angilina Taylor. My husband and I launched a footwear brand called 5028, a limited edition artisan shoe company last October out of Carbondale, Colorado. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I got here, and you guys already raised your hands if you know what you want to do. Anybody have no idea what they want to do after college? How many of you have a little bit of an idea, but you're not sure how to get there? Cool. Well, I was like the last group of you. I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to do. I knew the things that I loved. I loved fashion and sports and writing. I knew that I wanted to go to New York, and I knew that I wanted to do something with myself, but I didn't know if my love of getting dressed up for Halloween and dances and just getting dressed up in general could make me be a fashion designer. I knew nothing about sewing. I knew nothing about pattern making. And I didn't know back then, this is before Google, so the resources were a little bit harder to find. Growing up wasn't very easy for me. It was pretty challenging. I came from a divorced family, so my dad remarried a woman that didn't really like me very much, so our home life was stressful, and my high school years were filled with lots of fighting, confusion, and frustration until one day I left home and went and lived with my high school boyfriend and his family when I was a junior in high school. So I teetered the line between hanging out with the bad kids in the parking lot, smoking cigarettes, and making bad decisions. And then I had my preppy group of friends that I, went to football games with and played sports with. Somehow managed to pull off getting A's and B's. And decided to look at colleges, but nobody in my family had ever been to college, so I had some really supportive grandparents who were there to help, but they didn't know where to tell me to look or anything. So I found a school in Westchester County, New York, and I showed up there with a duffel bag, like a 100-pound duffel bag that was probably as big as me, and a dolly, because I don't know, wheelie luggage wasn't in at the time, or I didn't have access to it, so here I was with my duffel bag full of dreams showing up in a taxi cab to my first day of orientation. So there I was, following my dream to be a fashion designer. I recently read a quote: "A dream is your creative vision for your life in the future. You must break out of your current comfort zone and become comfortable with the unfamiliar and the unknown." So I can tell you I was far out of my comfort zone, far from home, unbelievably unfamiliar with the culture, the weather, the lifestyle, pretty much everything. And as the years went on, I wound up in San Francisco to finish my college days, a whole other kind of learning experience, far out of my comfort zone, but alive to the possibilities. The early years of my career presented a lot of challenges. I graduated right after 9/11, so the job market was really unstable, but I eventually landed a job at a company called Decker's Outdoor Corporation, which was the parent company for the shoe brands Teva, Simple, and UGG. So I fought my way up the ladder to a creative position, learning the ins and outs of footwear development there, and found myself in very unfamiliar places, like dinners in China, being offered chicken feet and snake bile for dinner, and in taxi cabs in Spain, trying to communicate where I needed to go in my broken span Italian English, again before Google Maps, so getting places was different. And presenting new designs to corporate executives with kind of this fake confidence, as I always felt like an imposter. Like, did I really know what I was doing? Did I really know what I was talking about? But as scary and unfamiliar as it was, I just kept on doing it until the unfamiliar became familiar. So I worked my way up the corporate ladder, working for companies like Oakley, the North Face, Teva, Calvin Klein, and Speedo. I eventually became the design and development director for a company called Taos Footwear, where I spent the last 6 years of my corporate life. Again, so I was hired there to create change in an organization where the man at the hub of the company was not interested in changing. So we spent lots of time kind of arguing about how we were going to approach things, and he wanted me to copy other designers, and I wanted to go out and be inspired by the world. Anyways, I learned a lot of lessons there, a lot of lessons that I've kind of brought into our new company now. And I think a lot about those arguments and kind of the lessons that I learned there, what to do, what not to do. So here we are, we're living the startup life. Somewhere in the midst of corporate life, a new dream surfaced for me, but by all intents and purposes, I was quite successful, but I was not completely fulfilled. I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to spend my days making stuff that I loved that didn't fit into a mold or vision of someone else's. I wanted to live where I wanted to and work when I wanted to. I also wanted to create a company with purpose. So we're 1 year into 5028. Every single day presents a new challenge, but we are navigating it and always learning. We are creating shoes we are proud of and love seeing the smiles on our customers' faces. We donate $5 from every shoe that we sell to mental health support. Locally, we partner with Aspen Strong. We create art for your feet, and hopefully we are creating a ripple to make a difference. So while you're out there figuring out, your story will be yours. It will most certainly twist and turn in ways that you will not expect and you might not be prepared for. It might even morph into something you couldn't have even imagined. Let your dream be your roadmap for creating your future life. Be open to the challenges and possibilities. Bend where needed, but stay true to yourself. Your dream is your creative vision for your life in the future. Thank you. And we have a booth over there in the room as well. So.
Angelina, before you leave, what is your favorite type of shoe to dance in?
I mean high heels, but you get uncomfortable after a while, so.
I can agree. Thank you, Angelina. I'm looking forward to checking out your shoes at your table.